Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and welcome to Primetime Local News. Lloydminster Comprehensive High School and Holy Rosary High School will both be seeing upgrades thanks to a $35 million investment from the Alberta and Saskatchewan governments. Jace Mackey has more on the new upgrades and how the governments hope these projects will stimulate the local economy.
There was a swarm of elected officials from Alberta and Saskatchewan visiting two Lloydminster high schools on Thursday, announcing a combined $35 million investment to Holy Rosary and Lloyd Comp. Holy Rosary will receive $10 million, while Lloyd Comp will get $25 million. The money will go towards mechanical and electrical system upgrades and the addition of a second story at each school. Both schools will add 16 additional classrooms. The public and Catholic school boards are glad to see this funding for expansion.
We already are over capacity at Holy Rosary. It was built for about 750 students and we're pushing the 1,000 mark right now. So this expansion will give us a lot more breathing room.
We are going to be reconfiguring our classes. So grade 9 students will be coming over to the Lloydminster Comp. And so we'll have grade 9s to 12s in this building. So it's going to allow us to bring them over and give us a little bit of extra space.
Both governments have been spending additional funds on infrastructure projects in the past few months to stimulate the economy and help the recovery post-COVID-19. The projects are expected to create more than 110 jobs in Lloydminster.
The idea, of course, is to build infrastructure. We know we need new infrastructure both in the education sector and in the healthcare sector and other sectors. So the importance of investing in infrastructure is really to ensure that what we're doing is enhancing the ability of companies to participate, to build the economy, because we really believe that as we come out of the pandemic, one of the important things will be to ensure that local companies, that people in Saskatchewan and in Alberta are engaged in these projects.
Special circumstances like this requires appropriate response from the government to stabilize the economy, to recover and grow the economy. So we are building infrastructure to diversify our economy and create local jobs.
Saskatchewan has funded 11 other school projects throughout the province as part of a 2-year capital plan, while Alberta has 66 other projects underway. The Holy Rosary expansions are expected to be completed by 2022, and Lloyd Comp will see work completed by 2023. For Primetime Local News, I'm Jace Mackey.
Another candidate has put their name up for this fall's municipal election, with Lorelei Marin announcing she will be running for city councillor. Marin began her campaign last night, speaking to residents about priorities for the city, which includes bringing business into Lloydminster.
Some refreshments, we've got fruit.
I'd like us to be more resilient, and so that can cover things like our economic development. And so what does it mean to have businesses in Lloydminster and be supported? And so really promoting the shop local, investment into our community, making sure that businesses know that if they set up shop here, that this is a great community.
In her position with the Lloydminster Youth Council and the Lloydminster Area Drug Strategy, Marin has experience working with different levels of government, which she says will help her advocate for Lloydminster.
I've spent lots of time with MLAs, some time with some premiers on occasion, and really been able to have good conversations with them around what at the grassroots do we really need? What are those conversations that we're having in community that they need to hear? And what kind of policies can they implement to support that?
The municipal election will be held November 9th, with mail-in ballots available this year. CN Police are reminding motorists and pedestrians to be cautious near railway tracks as part of Rail Safety Week. A new stencil was unveiled Thursday at a railway crossing at 50th Avenue with the message, "Look, listen, live."
Whether you're a pedestrian or a motorist, we want people to be aware of their surroundings, not be distracted, be conscious that you are in fact coming up to a set of railway tracks. You need to take that moment to pause and look.
Councillor Aaron Buckingham was in attendance for the unveiling and says the reminder is important with train crossings in major arteries of Lloydminster.
We have a very busy corridor here on Highway 17 where we're standing right now. So it's really appropriate to have this logo right here. People can see it from the road, they can see it when they're walking, and rail safety is important any time of the day, any time of the year, not just during Rail Safety Week. So we're very happy that they were all here today to make this announcement and unveil this logo for the safety of all citizens.
The stencils will be installed at multiple crossings in the city. The COVID-19 pandemic has presented many different difficulties to schools, including band class. One local school has come up with a way they can still get their students involved in the music while maintaining distancing rules. At College Park School, this grade 7 band class is holding class outside. Even though the wind is moving their music stands and sheet music, it's the one place they can all play together.
We're in a situation right now where we don't have enough physical space in our school to have our students play safely. And so with the administration last week, we decided that we should try and have the kids playing outside. That way we can have the recommendation is a 12-foot distance between students, or 4 meters. And so this is kind of the only space we can do that.
The pandemic has required the teachers to become more creative in the ways they teach their students.
At the beginning of the year, it felt like, okay, so I have to do, it was like, please reinvent the wheel, but you're not allowed to use circles, not allowed to use round shapes. So at the beginning of the year, it was, we're not allowed to play inside, we're not allowed to sing inside, and so we're trying to adapt our curriculum so that we can still keep kids engaged and still teach them what we need to.
The students are excited they still get to play their instruments all together this school year.
It's really fun, and since we can't play inside, we get to play outside, and we've just been reviewing our songs since we haven't played them in a while.
It's fun and it's nice outside, so that's good. It's just the wind's annoying sometimes.
The school has also shifted a lot of their band lessons and practices online.
We're using a lot of technology, things like Flipgrid and Google Classroom, to have them playing from home. Our students are participating in a band Olympics where they're divided into teams and they compete in different events, but all of that is done from home.
Jones also mentions that he's glad he can offer a space where the students can all make music together again. Now our Connor Chan will take a look at your weather forecast.
Thanks very much, Jasmine. Take a look right now. 19 degrees right now is our daytime high. The winds, of course, died down mostly very dramatically, but now we see a lot of clear skies throughout the rest of the day here, but we could see some showers come this weekend to kind of contradict that clear, nice day we had outside here. But take a look at some areas right now around our region. 20 degrees in Vermilion, with 20 also we see in Marwayne, St. Paul, and Edmonton. 21 out in Vegreville, with 19 degrees for Cold Lake. 18 degrees in Lac La Biche as well. We also see 20 degrees out in Maidstone and North Battleford as well, along with Green Lake and in Meadow Lake. Now here's a look at the satellite radar map. I did mention showers coming. It is starting to make its way in the coming hours or so up from the southern eastern areas. We see Vegreville and Marwayne could be affected as well, but we could see activity of showers coming our way tomorrow night and parts of the area as we take a look at temperatures overnight there. 8 degrees overnight for North Battleford with some showers, heading into tomorrow with that high of 11 degrees for tomorrow, so they'll get a little bit cooler there. Cold Lake, cloud coverage overnight at 8 degrees, going into showers tomorrow with that high of 13 degrees. And then for us here in Lloydminster, we will see possibly some showers overnight tonight, and then heading into tomorrow, a daytime high of 12 degrees for us as we drop down 7 degrees from what we currently are sitting at right now. Of course, there is that 64% chance we could get that rain, but as we head into the next 3 days, 13 degrees on Sunday with a little bit more sun and a little bit of cloud coverage there, and then we'll get some increased cloud coverage on Monday with that high of 18 degrees and that low of 4. So we should see a little bit of a cooler day for us here tomorrow, but that is a first look at your weather forecast. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
Welcome back. Our Shelby Clark spoke with the Border City Rotary Club to see what changes have been made during the pandemic and if they need new members.
I'm talking to Carla Furman with the Border City Rotary Club today. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing, Shelby?
I'm doing very good. So it's been a while since we've talked since COVID-19. How has the Border City Rotary Club been handling the pandemic? Has there been lots of obstacles?
COVID hit right as we were gearing up for our Irish Pub Nights. And so we had to make that hard call to cancel our annual fundraiser, which is our biggest fundraiser for our club. And so we've really been looking at different ways of re-gearing and how to be able to still serve our community and stuff like that without those extra finances at the end of the day.
And has there been many changes to the club since the pandemic?
Definitely. So when the pandemic hit, we took a little bit of a break because we just weren't really sure how to move forward with our meetings because we do meet weekly. And about a month into everything, we decided to go back up on Zoom. And so typically we meet 7 a.m. on Tuesday mornings. And so we made the unanimous decision to switch to 7 p.m. at that time and just meet via Zoom and start to reconnect and get organized again. And we brought guest speakers on and kind of kept to the same format that way. And in August, just as things are starting to change and some of the restrictions have eased up a little bit, we switched back to meeting on site at 7 a.m. on Tuesday mornings. And it's been fantastic to be back and have some, as we tease, some normality, I guess, and being in person, and of course following social distance rules and working very closely with the Lloyd X to make sure that everybody is safe, our members and our guest speakers and the guests that do join us. So it has been interesting, to say the least, right?
And is the club looking for new members at the moment?
Always. We are always looking for new members. That's how we survive. Without bodies, without someone there to help and push and make those different things happen, we aren't a club. We're only as good and as strong as we are member-wise, and we have had a few new members join since the pandemic, which is wonderful. They're excited and eager to be a part of the club and to get out in the community. And we have also seen a few members leave with retirement or job change. Life is forever evolving, and so we just have to work with it. So we're definitely always looking for new members.
Can you explain more on this trishaw that Border City Connects was showing the Rotary Club, that bike?
Yes, that bike is fantastic. So Border City Connects was the original crew, I believe, that brought that bike in, and they have created a new club off of that to look after the bike, and I believe it's called Border Bike for All. Don't quote me on that one. And so it's a bike for the community, and it holds residents at Pioneer Lodge at the moment, but it is open to be utilized, say, at Hemstock and Dr. Cook and different locations. We can even pick people up at Bud Miller, and it's a pilot project for them. And we had them come out to show us the bike, but also a few of our members have become pilots. I'm one of the pilots, and we sign up and we volunteer an hour to 2 hours here and there throughout the week, and we go and we pick up our passengers and we take them out for a stroll in and around the border city. And so I went out last week Tuesday afternoon, and it was a ton of fun. The conversation was wonderful. My two passengers were complete delight. They actually knew some of my family, so it was a little bit of a reminiscing back on different memories and just where they grew up, and they shared some stuff that I didn't even know about the area. So it is a lot of fun, and thank goodness the weather has been holding. Because of COVID, it was a bit of a late start on their end, and so as long as the weather stays nice, we can continue to get out there.
And is there anything special happening right now for the Border City Rotary Club that you'd want residents to know about?
At the moment, we're gearing up. I don't know if you remember last year we did that Yummus night with Spiro's Family Restaurant. And so we are gearing up to do our second annual one with them at the end of October. And of course, it's going to look a little bit different this year because we need to follow social distancing and COVID protocol. And I believe it's on October 29th is the date that we've finalized here. And instead of selling tickets ahead of time, it's just the entire day. You can eat in or you can take out. And the Maria's favorite, a percentage of those of those sales will be coming back to the Border City Rotary Club, so we can then utilize those funds to help support our community and different initiatives happening within and around Lloydminster.
Perfect. And is there ways that residents can help support the Border City Rotary Club right now?
Definitely coming out and showing your support. Come check it out, see if it's something for you. Like I said, we're only as strong as we are our members, so bodies are always great. And then of course supporting our small fundraiser like Yamas Night, getting out there, ordering a meal, and enjoying a night, even if it's just takeout. That percentage will help us support the community. And if you see us out and about doing different things, come over and say hi, come and see what we're up to.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Carla.
Thank you for having me, Shelby.
Now here are your stock market prices for today.
Today's oil prices are brought to you by First General Services.
This past Wednesday, the Lloydminster Bobcats were back on the ice again in a game-like situation. Evan Kenny has more in the Kit Scotty inter-squad game.
Wednesday's black versus white game saw many firsts. For some, it was their first junior main camp. For others, their first camp in Lloyd. For all, it was their first taste of competition since March.
It's 2020 here and we're playing a hockey game, so it's a good feeling for us, and I know the boys are excited to continue on.
Yeah, I think it's awesome being back out on the ice with the guys, and it's been a while and it's fun to get back on the ice, and it was a fast-paced game, and I think it heated up. The more we went on, guys started being a little more physical, and that's awesome to see.
The 2019-20 Bobcats team struggled to score goals. This was one of the bright spots in Wednesday's 4-3 overtime finish.
Nice goal to score in overtime there, and just open up a lane by a little play, and those are things that we need to continue to move forward with and continue to build on. And the 4-3 game here, 7 goals scored tonight. I like that. I didn't think that our defense was off. I just thought that we made some plays and capitalized on opportunities. We saw Ethan Coyne's breakaway goal, and he scored last year at the 18 level, and that translated right into tonight with his shot there. So.
Not bad props for the rookie Acoyne out of Calgary. Ethan Acoyne took his first strides in a Bobcats uniform and was facing off against his cousin, the returning forward Cameron Acoyne.
It's a lot faster, it's a lot smarter players, and the shots are a lot harder. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be a heated car ride home, but it's a lot of fun, yeah.
While the team has had a strong camp so far, newly appointed captain Gunnar Kinneberg says it's just the start.
I mean, it starts in practice. I mean, every single day we got to come to work and practice, and we're practicing 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, and that's where a lot of our speed and a lot of getting back into the groove is going to come from. So pushing guys in practice and making sure we're always playing at a high speed.
The Bobcats will have another game in Kit Scotty tomorrow morning. The same restrictions will apply, including a cap of 100 people and mandatory masks. Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
Now our Connor Chan will take a look at your weather forecast.
All right, thanks very much, Jasmine. Taking a look right now, still sitting at that 19-degree mark right now. As we move out further west there, 20 degrees in Edmonton, 14 for Rocky Mountain House, 18 also we see in Red Deer, with Jasper sitting at 15 degrees as well. Edson right now sitting at 17 degrees right now. As we look over into Saskatchewan areas right now, we see 20 degrees in Meadow Lake, North Battleford, and in Melfort as well, with 21 degrees in both Prince Albert and in Saskatoon. Up north, taking a look at temperatures there, 16 degrees in the Losh and Buffalo Narrows, 17 we see in both Larange and in Flin Flon there. Single digits again for areas like Uranium City, Stony Rapids, and Walston Lake sitting at 8 and 9 degrees. South End also sitting at 13 degrees right now. In the northern Alberta areas right now, we see 11 degrees in Grand Prairie with 18 in Slave Lake, one of the warmer spots up in northern Alberta. 16 for both Peace River and in Fort McMurray. And then we see both Fort Chipewyan and High Level sitting at 13 degrees. As we make our way down south, a little bit cooler this time around in areas like Lethbridge and Medicine Hat. Lethbridge sitting at 15 with Medicine Hat sitting at 18 degrees. Calgary at 14 right now with 12 degrees in Banff. And then Coronation, one of the warmer spots, sitting at 19 degrees. Over in the southern Saskatchewan areas, Estevan sitting at 23 compared to the 29 that they had yesterday. 23 also out in Moose Jaw with 22 degrees for Regina and in Yorkton with 20 in Kindersley. And then Swift Current sitting at 18 degrees. So here's a look at what we see across the rest of the country. Yesterday was mostly cloudy across heading out east, but now it's a little bit more sunnier. In Winnipeg has a little bit more sun there at 26 degrees. Toronto is all clear skies and some sun there at 24. Quebec City a little bit cooler, sitting at 16 with some cloud coverage there. St. John's also in the evening time, with that high at 12, and then Halifax sitting at 17 with some cloud coverage there. Edmonton also sitting at some cloud coverage there as they could get some showers along with us for tomorrow there. Vancouver sitting at 17 with mostly sun and a few clouds. Yellowknife seeing some showers right now at 9 degrees and 12 degrees in Whitehorse. But as we take a look at temperatures for tomorrow, the rain should start around that 2 a.m. mark, and that could possibly stop into the early afternoon of tomorrow. But tomorrow we will see a daytime high of 12 degrees for us here in Lloydminster, Maidstone as well, 13 in Vermilion with 15 in Vegreville, and then we'll see 13 degrees in the northern areas like St. Paul, Bonnyville, and in Cold Lake and Lac La Biche. Edmonton sitting at 16 degrees tomorrow, and a little bit cooler in North Battleford, sitting at 11 degrees, along with St. Walburg to follow suit. So here's a look at what we could see over the next 7 days. That 64% chance is very likely we'll see some showers for tomorrow there. 13 on Sunday with a little bit more sun coming our way, with 18 on Monday as we start off the new week there, but some cloud coverage will increase there. 15 degrees on Tuesday with mostly sun and a few clouds, and clear skies on a fairly coolish day on Wednesday with that high of 11 degrees. 17 on Thursday with some cloud coverage continuing on, as well as into Friday at that high of 16. That's a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
I am so pleased to be joined today on Primetime Local News by a country music legend, Jeannie Seeley. Jeannie, thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you for inviting me to join you today.
Now, you have a new album out. It's been out for a little bit here, called An American Classic. And wow, looking through the names on some of the people who have been involved in the writing and the performing, and you have a duet with Willie Nelson on there. Tell me about the album and how it all came together.
Well, I am so excited about this project and just thrilled at the response we've been getting. Yes, I have some wonderful guests on here. I'm proud to say that not only are they some of the heaviest talents in our business, but that we chose some that were very close friends of mine to join me. Of course, the single duet with Willie Nelson, Willie and I go all the way back to 1963, I believe it was, we met.
And now tell me about the tracks. How did you decide on them? Are they songs that were special to you? Because I know some are songs that have been performed, many years ago as well. So was it quite a long process, or did you just kind of know from the beginning that, yeah, these are the songs that I want to have on this album?
I think we had 3 or 4 that we knew definitely we wanted to do. One of the first ones definitely I wanted to do was the duet with Bill Anderson on When Two Worlds Collide. Of course, Bill is my big brother at the Opry and a close friend, and we would do this song as a duet on the Country Family Reunion road shows that we did, just to add a different dimension to the show. And it was written by, it was talking about When Two Worlds Collide. It was written by Roger Miller and Bill Anderson many years ago. It's just always been one of my favorites. And then another thing, That's How I Roll, with just kind of a rowdy little song, and we laughed because everybody said, well, there's only one person can be as rowdy as you are, and that's Lori Morgan. So I'm really happy about this with Lori. And of course, Vince played some really good rock and guitar licks on that track too.
Now, you've been around the country music scene, Jeannie, obviously for quite some time, and had a chance to see it evolve and different styles of music come and go. What is the key to being a success and remaining relevant through this whole time? Because we've seen people who have, maybe had one or two songs and have disappeared, but you're still putting out the hits and people are buying your music. What's the key to that?
I think staying relevant with and trying to keep up with the times as much as possible was still keeping your traditional sound and to your traditional music is the key, and working with young people. And this project with Don Cusick, who's a very respected music professor at Belmont, and this whole concept was his idea, by the way. So that kind of keeps you on your toes too.
And before, Jeannie, you'd be able to do a lot of touring, a lot of performing, concerts, that sort of thing, but the world is quite a different place now. So now that you have this new album, have you talked about ways that you can go out and do shows and do them safely, or is that going to be on hold for a bit? What is your plan regarding possible touring?
We haven't made any big plans for a lot of things. We've got a couple of things scheduled. We're just going to tiptoe in and see if we can do it safely. The first thing we're going to do is just a concert with just Tim Atwood and me with the baby grand piano down in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. We feel like we can socially distance with the two of us on stage, certainly, and probably won't do the usual meet and greets and autograph sessions like we normally do. And then also in November, I'm going to go up to Branson with my new little Opry sister, Rhonda Benson, and do a series of Christmas shows with her. So I'm looking forward to that too. And she has it all planned so we can safely do it too.
Now, Jeannie, there are so many people who are either just into the music business or have been in for a while that look up to people like yourself for advice on how to break in and how to, write songs and be successful. What is something that you would say to these people who are in there now? And it's a lot different, not putting out traditional albums the way you were able to before now with all the music streaming and that sort of thing. What would you tell people who are looking to make a go of it in this business?
Well, it's hard to ever give anybody advice because it happens so differently for everybody. But I would say, first of all, don't ever let anybody tell you no. Just keep plugging away at what you believe in. And the young people today do have the advantage of the media, and the internet. And I would say learn everything you can do about social media, because that is what's happening now. That is a way to get your message, your material out there and to get noticed if you can't do it any other way. And just do your thing and stick with it.
Well, Jeannie, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Again, An American Classic is out now, and speaking of traditional platforms, I'm guessing that your music is available on all of them?
Absolutely, on all of wherever you can get digital music, it's available. And you can always, if you prefer the hands-on CD, which a lot of my fans do, they can go to jeannieseely.com and order it through my website. And it's always wonderful to hear from folks too.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate chatting with you. Just an honor to speak with you today. And I wish you luck with the rest of the touring and everything else for the rest of the year. Thank you once again, Jeannie.
And thank you for your time. Hi to everybody up there.
Wednesday, you're invited to be one of the first to get a look at a new business here in downtown Lloydminster called Legacy DIY. It's a maker space, a creator space, and if you're somebody who's wanted to try your hand at metalwork or welding, or you've wanted to take a sewing class or two, this is going to be a great space to do that. They're also going to have great equipment that you'll be able to use, including 3D printers and table saws as well. Get all the details online at legacydiy.com. you've got an opportunity to enjoy a delicious breakfast and support the United Way Lloydminster and District. And the United Way here in Lloydminster, they support a number of different organizations, including the Olive Tree. And when you order your breakfast sandwich, you're supporting people, organizations right here in the city of Lloydminster. Get your order in for your breakfast sandwich by Wednesday, and then October the 7th, you can pick it up here at the Olive Tree, or if you've got an order for the whole office, they might be able to deliver it to you. So get that order in now. You'll find all the details on the Lloydminster and District United Way's website, and also on our website, realcountrylloydminster.ca. And starting on Monday, the Lloydminster and District Co-op Gas Bar on Highway 17 North in Lloydminster is hosting a virtual grand opening celebration. Stop in every day next week for your chance to get some deals and also win some really cool prizes. And it's also going to be a virtual grand opening for the Tim Hortons location right here on Highway 17 North. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Open is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Well, joining us again for our weekly entertainment panel is Abby St. John. Abby, there's lots to talk about in the world of TV because, of course, last week was the Emmys. There's lots to talk about in that regard, a lot of history being made. But let's start with the fact that Zendaya won for Best Actress in a Drama Series and how much of an impact that made for herself as also for just the awards in general there.
Yes, she is now the youngest actress to win in that category at 24 years old for her role as Rue in Euphoria. Now, that show has been kind of groundbreaking for youth as it is a bit extreme. It did face a lot of controversy, but it did also show the importance around teen addiction, and she portrayed that role beautifully, and I think it was very well deserved, especially at her age. She was up against seasoned and legendary actresses like Jennifer Aniston, Olivia Colman, Sandra Oh, Laura Linney, and Jodie Comer, who actually was the youngest last year for her role in Killing Eve at 26. So now it's just the record has been broken again at the age of 24 with Zendaya. And in her speech, she said, "I just want to say that there is hope in the young people out there. And I just want to say to all our peers out there doing the work in the streets, I see you, I admire you, I thank you." She was so excited to win, as you could see in her speech, so it was very well deserved.
Absolutely, and just as you mentioned, lots of great candidates in that category. But the biggest storyline of all, Abby, was the fact that the hit Canadian show Schitt's Creek swept the entire comedy category, and it was a big thing not only for our country but for the show itself. It kind of got recognition last year when it got nominated for some Emmys, but this year, of course, it was up for a lot more. So just talk about how big of a deal this is, not only for Canada but also for the just television in general.
Yes, as the series has come to an end now, it started back in 2015 on CBC in Canada, and then it just blew up once it was put on Netflix after its third season. They won all four acting categories. Eugene Levy won for lead actor, Catherine O'Hara won for lead actress, Dan Levy won for supporting actor, and Annie Murphy won for supporting actress. They also won Outstanding Comedy Series, Outstanding Writing, and Outstanding Directing in the comedy series. Now, in a total, since the show started, they have 19 Emmy nominations and 9 wins, and they have set a record for winning all 4 major acting categories this year. At the same time, they also set a new record for the most Emmy wins by a comedy series in a single season. They did get 7 nominations this year and won all 7, so that is very outstanding for this show, as it did blow up and it's become super popular. But the fact that it is a Canadian show and it's fully in Canada, it's amazing to see Canada being represented on a big stage like the Emmy Awards.
Absolutely, and of course we hear a lot about these famous, American actors that we're used to seeing talking about how they very much enjoy Schitt's Creek as well. Was there, in your mind, do you think there was one show, if there was one, that could have possibly have taken something away from Schitt's Creek in terms of the categories?
I think Schitt's Creek has proved over the 6 seasons that it is a great comedy series. You know, last year, like you said earlier, they received a lot of nominations as well. Just between last year and this year, they have those 19 Emmy nominations. So they've really proven that they are a great comedy series that everyone enjoys. And, you know, having that Canadian aspect, it's great to see us get our Canadians and Canadian content being represented in America against American television shows like The Good Place. That was a great series as well. They also received a bunch of nominations. But the fact that this Canadian TV show outwon all of those American ones, it's outstanding to see, and it's just great for Canada. And I think it should be highly regarded as a great TV show.
Oh, it definitely will. Definitely be down as one of the greatest Canadian shows, probably of all time, for going forward here. Abby St. John, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, taking a last look here at your weather forecast. We could see some showers heading into tomorrow. It could start around 2 a.m. or 2 a.m. going into the early afternoon into tomorrow. So it won't be rain all day for Saturday, just for most parts of the early part of Saturday. 13 on Sunday, 18 on Monday with some cloud coverage continuing on there. 15 degrees on Tuesday with a little bit more sun and just a bit of cloud coverage. And we'll have clear skies expected for Wednesday with that high of 11 degrees and that low of 3. Now we also see on Thursday some more cloud coverage coming back in on Thursday with that high of 17 and a low of 1 degree, and then 16 on Friday with some cloud and sun mixes there. Our average is usually around 15 degrees for the daytime high. We usually average around 2 degrees for our daytime low.
Thanks for joining us on Primetime Local News. Have a great night.